Today's my story name is The Aussie Nutcracker. Clary and Felix waited impatiently. Everything was ready, but the Christmas Eve party could not begin until Uncle Don arrived. Every year, the old toy maker brought them something special. Then there was the snap of the screen door. "He is here," shouted Clary. Clary loved her uncle's visits. Strange things happened whenever Uncle Don was around. Felix grabbed the biggest present from Uncle Don. Inside was an entire squadron of tin soldiers, dressed and armed for battle. "And for you, Clary," said Uncle Don, "I have a very special gift." Uncle Don handed Clary a box tied with a shiny pink bow. She pulled at the ribbon and peeled back the paper. Inside was a wooden figure that was a little odd. His head was too long, his legs were too short, and Clary was not at all sure soldiers had tails. "But," thought Clary, "the Nutcracker is the most beautiful toy I have ever seen." Felix was angry. Why did Clary have something he didn't? He grabbed the Nutcracker, but it flew from his finger and fell to the floor with a terrible crack. Uncle Don picked up the Nutcracker and gently tied its broken jaw. "Don't worry," he said. "Things are always better in the morning." Clary placed the Nutcracker under the Christmas tree. Late that night, while everyone in the house was asleep, Clary lay awake, thinking about her broken toy, all alone under the Christmas tree. She tossed and she turned. Finally, she tiptoed down the stairs. She picked up her Nutcracker and hugged him to her and fell soundly asleep. The clock struck midnight, startling Clary awake. The Christmas tree was growing. No, Clary was shrinking, and the Nutcracker was nowhere in sight. Something rustled in the branches high above. A nose appeared, and then some whiskers, and the whiskers were attached to a mouse. Another mouse followed, and another. Clary was surrounded. In the center of the mouse army stood the most monstrous mouse, his 7 heads topped with 7 shiny crowns. The Mouse King advanced with his sword raised. Suddenly, there was a crash. Felix's present burst open. Out marched the squadron of soldiers. And leading them all was Clary Nutcracker. "Don't be afraid," he said with a bow. "I am the Nutcracker Prince. I will protect you." The Nutcracker Prince lifted his sword. The soldiers took up their positions, weapons ready for battle. The cannons exploded and sword clashed with sword. The soldiers fought bravely, but they were no match for the sharp swords and sharp teeth of the mice. The Mouse King lunged at the Nutcracker Prince with a swoosh of his sword. He knocked the Nutcracker's weapon from his hand. Prepared to be vanquished, he squeaked. "No!" cried Clary. She took off her slipper and threw it as hard as she could. It struck the Mouse King right in the middle of his mouse face. The king crumbled to the floor, his 7 crowns tumbling from his 7 heads. His mousy henchman picked up his body and scampered away. "You saved my life," said the Nutcracker, "and you defeated the Mouse King. We must celebrate." The Nutcracker Prince led Clary outside. A boat was waiting to carry her across the lemonade sea and through the night. Rivers of milkshake flowed from the mountains, butterscotch flowers hung from the trees, and marshmallow blossom burst from the ground. "This is my home," said the Nutcracker Prince. "Welcome to the Lord of Lollies." At the gate of the kingdom, they were greeted by the sugar plum fairy, ruler of the land. The Nutcracker Prince told the tale of Clary's bravery, so the sugar plum fairy held a great feast in her honor. The night was filled with music and dances from all over the world. Then at the end of the night, the sugar plum fairy danced, gliding and twirling as light as air. All too soon, it was time for Clary to leave. "Will I ever see you again?" she asked with a yawn. The Nutcracker smiled. And the next thing Clary knew, she was waking up beneath the Christmas tree, and there was her Nutcracker safe in her arms. If you like my video, please subscribe my channel.